Hello friends, welcome to our channel, where we bring you the wisdom of books in a simple and engaging way. Today, we present the story of a book that has transformed the lives and mindsets of millions. We're talking about Robert Kiyosaki's bestseller, Rich Dad, Poor Dad. This book provides profound insights into financial education, the understanding of money, and the mindset required to become wealthy. It revolves around the stories of two fathers, one rich and one poor, highlighting how their thoughts and decisions shaped their financial lives. In this video, we will break down the 6 lessons, core principles, and inspiring stories from Rich Dad, Poor Dad into easy-to-understand English. If you're looking to improve your financial life, this video will serve as a guide. You'll learn how to make money work for you, the difference between assets and liabilities, why financial education is more important than school syllabi, and how the wealthy think their way to success. If you enjoy the video, don't forget to like, share, and subscribe to our channel. Our mission is to provide you with knowledge that can give your life a new direction. So without further delay, let's begin this incredible journey and uncover the life-changing lessons from Robert Kiyosaki's iconic book. To start, Robert Kiyosaki, the author of this book, had 2 fathers. One father, highly educated and a PhD holder, struggled with poverty all his life and passed away poor. Robert called him his poor dad. The other, who wasn't highly educated but was very wealthy, was the father of Robert's friend, Mike. Robert referred to him as his rich dad. Now you might wonder, how can one person have 2 fathers? Here's the answer. Robert's poor dad, his biological father, believed that studying hard and getting a secure job in a big company was the key to a stable future. On the other hand, his rich dad, his friend Mike's father, believed in learning from life's challenges and creating wealth through smart decisions. This contrast highlights an important truth. Some lessons in life are not taught in school, but through real-life experiences. Formal education can get you good grades, but life teaches you much more. Education has its place, but relying solely on it won't guarantee success. So, what exactly should we do to learn these life lessons? Let's dive into the first lesson from the book. The rich don't work for money. This might sound unusual, but the story behind this statement will help you understand its true meaning. Stay tuned. There was a man who owned a donkey and had a clever trick to make it work. Whenever he wanted the donkey to put in effort, he would hang a carrot in front of it. The donkey, eager to eat the carrot, would keep working tirelessly, hoping to reach it. But no matter how hard it tried, the donkey never got the carrot. Why? Because the carrot was just an illusion. Many of us are like that donkey, working endlessly, hoping to become rich one day. But money often remains just a distant dream. Chasing after money like that won't lead to success. Instead, you need to make money work for you. When you're focused on becoming rich, don't work just for money. Here's why. Fear and greed take over. Fear of staying poor drives us to work harder, while greed makes us dream of all the things money can buy. This cycle of fear and greed traps us in a loop, which Rich Dad calls the rat race. In this rat race, we earn more, spend more, and work even harder to keep up. But it's a trap, a never-ending cycle. To break free, you must avoid this trap of fear and greed. Many people who aspire to be wealthy fall into it, but you don't have to. Stop running after money. Instead, make it chase you. If you have a job, don't go to work just for the monthly paycheck, because that paycheck often only covers your bills. Month after month, this cycle continues, and you might even switch to a higher-paying job, but you're still working for money. That's why you never truly get rich. Face the truth. You're responsible for your life, not anyone else. Ask yourself the hard questions, because the answers lie within you. Are you working just for the security of a steady job, where there's no fear of being fired? Or are you working just to earn a bit more money, hoping that someday you'll be rich? If your answer is yes, I'm sorry to say, your dream of becoming rich will never come true. you'll remain stuck in the same situation. But if your answer is no, then your first step is to eliminate fear from your mind. The fear of not earning enough or the greed for more money often pushes us to make hasty, irrational decisions, and that leads to failure. It's natural to have both fear and desire, but don't let them control you. Instead, take a step back, think carefully, and act wisely. Don't just follow your heart. Use your mind too. Every morning ask yourself, am I doing as much as I can? Am I using my full potential? Stop thinking like most people, who work only for money. Don't blame your boss for not giving you a raise, or think, I deserve more. Remember, you alone are responsible for your problems, and only you can solve them. When you take responsibility for your challenges, you also gain the power to overcome them. That's the first and most important lesson Rich Dad taught Robert. As part of this lesson, Rich Dad assigned Robert to work at a convenience store. Surprisingly, Robert wasn't paid for his work. He simply kept working, fully immersing himself in the job. While it might seem unfair at first, this experience taught him an invaluable lesson. It allowed him to think beyond just earning a paycheck. He started focusing on creative ideas and strategies for making money work for him, instead of the other way around. During his time at the store, Robert noticed something unusual. The store clerk would tear the front page of old comic books in half, keeping one part for records and discarding the other. This sparked an idea in Robert's mind. Late in the evening, as the store was quiet, he began observing how this discarded material could be turned into an opportunity. This seemingly small observation led Robert to realize the importance of thinking outside the box, using resources wisely, and identifying ways to create value. It wasn't just about earning money. It was about seeing possibilities that others overlooked and turning them into opportunities. There was a distributor who used to visit the store and collect the upper halves of the old comic books for credit, replacing them with new ones. One day, Robert asked the distributor if he could keep the old comic books. The distributor agreed, on the condition that Robert wouldn't sell them. This sparked a new business idea in Robert's mind. He began renting out the old comic books to his friends and other kids. He charged 10 cents per comic for a 2-hour reading session. Technically, he wasn't selling the comics but creating a service. The best part? He didn't even have to work in the garage where the comics were rented out. He hired Mike's sister to manage it and paid her $1 per week. In just 1 week, he earned $9.50 in profit. This experience taught Robert a valuable lesson. Make money work for you instead of working for money. The second lesson: why financial literacy is essential. Rich Dad emphasized financial literacy. He often said that earning money is one thing, but keeping and growing it is another. To illustrate this, he shared an example from 1923. That year, at the Edgewater Beach Hotel in Chicago, a meeting was held with some of the world's wealthiest businessmen, including Charles Schwab, the president of a major steel company, and Samuel Insull, who led one of the largest utility companies of the time. But 25 years later, many of these men had died broke. Some had committed suicide, and others had lost their mental stability. This story highlights an important truth. People get so consumed with making money that they forget the essential skill of managing it. You can earn as much money as you want, but if you don't know how to preserve it, it will eventually slip through your fingers. This is why financial literacy is so critical. It's not just about earning, but also about understanding how to save, invest, and grow your wealth. Think of building financial literacy like constructing a skyscraper. If you want to build something as grand as the Empire State Building, you must first dig a deep foundation and lay a strong base. On the other hand, if you're just building a small house, a simple 6-inch concrete slab might suffice. Unfortunately, most people try to build skyscrapers on weak foundations, and the results are inevitable. They collapse. Poor Dad wanted Robert to focus solely on academics, believing that good grades would lead to a stable job and financial security. But Rich Dad had a different vision. He wanted Robert to learn financial literacy because most school systems only teach you how to build a house, not a solid foundation. While traditional education is valuable, It alone doesn't prepare you for the complexities of real life. True financial education begins when you understand how to manage and grow your money effectively. The third lesson: know the difference between liabilities and assets. This lesson says, understand the difference between liabilities and assets and always focus on buying assets. It sounds simple, right? But this one rule can make all the difference in whether you become wealthy or not. The problem is, most poor and middle-class people confuse liabilities, expenses or obligations, with assets, things that grow your wealth. They think their liabilities are assets. But the rich know exactly what assets are, and they focus only on buying those. Rich Dad followed the KISS principle. Keep it simple, stupid. He taught this simple yet powerful idea to the author and his friend Mike, and it helped them build a strong financial foundation. The principle is this: liabilities take money out of your pocket, while assets put money into your pocket. Always buy assets. Why isn't everyone rich then? If it's so simple, why isn't everyone wealthy? The reason is that people think they already know the difference between assets and liabilities. But in reality, they don't. They lack financial literacy. For example, most people only understand their income and expenses. They see their paycheck, income, and their bills, expenses. But they don't look at the bigger picture of how assets and liabilities affect their wealth over time. What are assets and liabilities? Assets, things that make money for you. Example, if you buy a house and rent it out, the rental income can pay off your loan, and after that, both the house and the income are yours. Liabilities, things that take money from you. Example, if you buy a house and live in it, it doesn't generate income, but you'll still spend money on the mortgage, maintenance, and other expenses. Why do the rich get richer? Rich people understand the importance of buying assets and letting those assets work for them. They avoid wasting money on liabilities unless absolutely necessary. For example, a middle-class person spends money on mortgages, car loans, rent, credit card bills, utility bills, and school fees. Their entire paycheck is consumed by these responsibilities, leaving little to save or invest. A poor person earns money but spends most of it on daily expenses like rent, food, and transportation. They don't have any liabilities, but they also don't have any assets. Often they end up borrowing money to make ends meet, which traps them in more debt. On the other hand, the rich buy assets. They invest in things that grow their money over time, such as rental properties, stocks, businesses, other income-generating investments. Their strategy is simple: buy assets that earn money and use that money to buy more assets. Over time, their wealth multiplies effortlessly. The trap of the middle class. The middle-class financial cycle often looks like this. 1. They earn money by working hard. 2. They spend it on liabilities, mortgages, loans, bills, etc. 3. Their expenses increase, leaving them stuck with no savings or investments. Because of this, they remain in the same financial position. Or worse, they might sink into debt. The rich do it differently. Rich people think differently. They, 1. Buy assets that make money for them. 2. Use the income from those assets to buy more assets. 3. Let their money grow on its own, instead of working harder to earn it. This is how they keep getting richer. They don't rely only on their hard work or their salary. Instead, they make their money work for them. So, if you want to build wealth, start focusing on buying assets, not liabilities. Learn to manage your finances wisely and make your money grow. The difference in thinking between rich dad and poor dad. The key takeaway here is simple. How you choose to spend your money defines your financial future. Let's break it down. 1. Leveraging loans to earn income. Rich dad believed in using loans smartly. For example, if a loan installment is $2, then renting out the property for $4 means $2 goes to the bank, and $2 is yours. This way, you're earning money without working hard. The strategy isn't about avoiding loans, but using them to buy income-generating assets. 2. The misguided belief in good grades and high salaries. Back in 1967, kids believed that getting good grades and becoming a doctor or engineer would guarantee financial success. While some of them did become professionals, many still struggle financially because they assumed earning more money would solve all their problems. 3. Today's perspective. Kids today dream of becoming CEOs, athletes, or celebrities, understanding that grades alone won't guarantee success. However, without financial literacy, even high earners can fall into financial troubles. The cycle of financial struggles for middle-class couples. Newly married couples often fall into a common trap. With both partners earning, they dream of buying a bigger house. They save and work harder to achieve this dream, only to take on new liabilities like higher taxes, loans, new furniture, and cars. As income grows, expenses also grow. Eventually, they realize they've entered a rat race, earning more but spending just as much, leaving them no closer to financial freedom. The core issue: mismanaging money. Most people think earning more money is the solution to their financial problems. But the real issue lies in how they manage their existing money. There's a saying that fits perfectly here. When you find yourself in a deep hole, stop digging. The fear of standing out. Many people are afraid of stepping away from the crowd. They worry about rejection or what others will think. This is why people avoid risks like public speaking or making unconventional financial choices. Instead, they choose the safety of following the herd, believing that if everyone is doing it, it must be right. For example, people are often told, "Your house is your biggest asset." They take out loans for a bigger home every time their income increases. But Rich Dad disagreed. He said, "Your house is not an asset if it takes money out of your pocket." The lesson from Japanese philosophy. Rich Dad compared financial wisdom to 3 strengths from Japanese culture. 1. The sword represents physical strength and skill. 2. Precious jewels symbolize financial power. 3. The mirror reflects self-awareness and inner strength. The mirror is the most important. When you look at yourself and honestly ask, "Am I making the right decisions or just following the crowd?" the answer reveals your true strength. Poor Dad versus Rich Dad. Poor Dad's beliefs. A house is the best investment. Good grades and a high salary are enough for success. Work harder, save more, and reduce expenses. Rich Dad's beliefs. Focus on building assets that generate income. Don't just work harder, work smarter. Leverage loans and investments to create wealth. The trap of home ownership. For many, buying a home becomes a financial burden. People take out large loans that take decades to repay. They spend all their money on maintaining the house instead of investing in income-generating assets. Some even take loans that exceed the value of their property, leaving them in deeper debt. The result? They miss out on other investment opportunities. They don't learn about building wealth because all their resources are tied up in their home. The solution: if you focus on buying assets instead of liabilities, you'll have a much brighter financial future. Instead of blindly following the crowd, take control of your money and invest in things that grow your wealth. Financial literacy, not just hard work, is the key to financial freedom. Understanding the importance of smart financial decisions. Let's take an example from Robert's life. Robert's wife's parents decided to move into a bigger, newer house. They thought buying a large home was a wise choice because, like many people, they believed a house was an asset. However, they were shocked to discover that the property tax alone was $1,000, a significant expense. The real challenge was that since they were retired, their income was limited. Paying $1,000 in taxes every month was beyond their retirement budget, putting financial stress on their lives. The key lesson: invest in assets first. The message isn't that you shouldn't buy a house, but rather that you should prioritize investing in income-generating assets before making such a big purchase. Here's why. 1. Investing in assets, stocks, bonds, real estate, etc., can generate regular income. 2. Over time, this income can help you afford larger purchases, like a big house, without financial stress. 3. your assets grow in value. With time, the value of your investments increases, adding to your wealth. Mistakes made by Robert's in-laws. Robert's in-laws made a critical mistake. They bought a large house without analyzing their current income and expenses. After retirement, with a fixed income, the $1,000 property tax became a heavy burden. Had they invested the same money in income-generating assets, they would have received regular earnings. This passive income could have easily covered property taxes and other expenses, while also building long-term wealth. The takeaway: plan before big financial decisions. Before making any major financial commitment, especially purchasing a house. 1. Analyze your financial situation. Understand your income, expenses, and future goals. 2. Invest first, spend later. Focus on building income-producing assets. 3. Avoid rushed decisions. Take your time to evaluate all options and consult financial advisors if needed. Building wealth takes time. Creating wealth is a long-term process. With patience, careful planning, and smart investments, you can achieve financial freedom and make big purchases, like a dream home, without unnecessary stress. So, remember, build assets first and liabilities later. Thank you for reading, and I'll see you in the next book summary.